Hi friends, I'm glad that you like this scammer series that I did and have been getting a good response on those videos. So I'm planning to do part 4 to it. And this is general type of scams apart from the ones like phishing, wishing, smishing, money mules and social engineering scams that we discussed earlier. So broadly now everybody is using the internet, right from your child to the parents, whether it's work from home, whether it's the child's schooling. Thanks to COVID, even studies have become online, so people use, teachers, students, parents, everybody is using the internet. We anyway used it for social media. However, now even professional things and even education has shifted to uh, the internet, digital platform as it is called. So while we are using the internet, a lot of people are there who make our lives miserable, who can take away your data, make I mean, there are a lot of people there who are into scams of digital thefts and a lot more. So we'll discuss broadly, apart from what we discussed earlier, what are the threats of using, the threats or disadvantage of advantages of using the internet. I think this topic is for parents and children and people of any age, right? So let us discuss. The first is, which we already know, that unsolicited offers, advertisements, phishing, virus, malware, everything is there. So how to save yourself from all of those, you can refer to part 1, part 2, part 3 of my previous videos on beware of scammers. You can see it in the video list. And another important thing is this data theft. Now data theft is also done in various ways. People take your identity, they hack into your accounts and take your identity. There are some people who go to the extent of even giving incorrect information to a lot of sites. I don't know, actually it is the responsibility of the organization to verify accounts before registering email accounts, but I've seen it happen. It has happened to me as well. So I would request all organizations, even I've seen even the best and best of organizations just registering email IDs of people without even verifying. And there are people with similar names and all, and we keep, I mean, there are times when even I get even account statements of other people, and whenever I notice, and so I do get back, but there are a lot of organizations which send emails with the no reply tag, so you cannot get in touch with them. And so I don't know how it is happening. So if you are watching it, if you're in an important position as an organization, if you're watching it, then I request you that just because somebody is giving you an email ID, do not register without verifying. You have, please have all these things inbuilt in your organization verifications, because there are sometimes when just because an organization is forcing you to give email and contact details, there are people out there who just randomly give away any phone number and email address, and then unnecessary emails come to people who they are not even meant for, and then they register you for dating sites and I don't know what kind of sites. And but there are a lot of organizations who do verification, and if such kind of emails come to you, please get in touch with them, unsubscribe, or say that it does not pertain to you. Google and some organizations have real good measures before registering your name on any social media platform, as well as organizations. I'm sorry to say, even some banks are also doing it. I'm getting statements from other banks of other individuals, and I'm not able to reply to them because it comes with a no reply tag. So this is also disadvantages. I have the privilege, luckily it comes to me, but a person with the incorrect wrong intention, if such data flows to a person with wrong intention, then this is a really very serious thing. So please verify, as an organization, please verify data before capturing it as that person's. So internet, the third disadvantages of internet are there are lot of sexual predators out there. This applies, I mean, the simplest target to such type of people are children and teenagers. So children do not understand things, and they get into social media, and they happily make accounts, friends, and then there are people who know how to play with child psychology, and then they blackmail them, they tell them to do things, and say that if you don't do this, I'll do that, I'm this and that, and they scare your children and make them do things. Or even probably even there have been incidents where children have been called and even nabbed. And there was some years back an incident where a child was abducted, and then later his body was found. It happened that he had made some friends on the internet. So it's very important. I mean, even if you're giving your child access, or if you're a very modern parent, so just be careful how much time. Discuss this later, but I'm just now listing down what are the disadvantages, and then we will see how you can prevent it, and what you have to do, what you don't, what you can avoid. And then there is another kind of threat called ransomware. Here what happens is, like, some mail you will get with some highlighted screen and all, very it will, like, they will tell you like you have to click this link, or in between there were such a type of viruses which were floated, wherein mails were so such, like your screen used to be locked, or there used to be mail saying that your data has been compromised, and if you want to retain the data, or you don't want to be locked out, or if you want like nothing, then you have to click on this link and make the payment. So the payment also used to go, and your data also used to be, actually that link was the link where your data was being taken away. So these people have, like, they have inbuilt programs, like we discussed earlier also, wherein they take away all information from your files and data. Everything flows into their computer. They write those programs, and when you click that link, you are activating file transfer. So be very careful. While you're clicking any link, be careful. Even if you get such a threat, then like, just shut down your PC. If you don't know what to do, if your screen is stuck or anything, and somebody is asking you ransomware, pay this and get your data back. Don't do it. If you are a part of an organization, then immediately just close down the monitor or screen, or shut it down, and then contact your technical support guy. He will help you. And or if you are if you're accessing, if it's your personal PC or laptop, then also you shut down and approach a reliable software or hardware guy and take his or her help. If you know somebody in the family you can trust, or who is into software or hardware, no, not hardware actually, for this software programming, then you can even take their help. It's better to take their help and guidance, and then get along and then follow some other advice before approaching another predator. Then of course, then there are scammers who operate as troubleshooters. So there are organizations wherein they say that if you have any PC ka problem, like I said in the previous thing, then don't jump from one predator to the other. So there are, because there are a lot of I wouldn't say organizations, I would rather call them scammers, who also, these people also have a small office call center type thing, and they operate as troubleshooters, saying that if you have any PC ka problem, software issue, this and then you contact us. The moment you call them, then they will give you all options. If you are not very well versed with software and you don't understand the technicalities, then they will misguide you, because there is a process called net meeting or remote access, wherein you can take access of another's PC, but it is not advisable to give access of your PC or screen to a third person, because then they have full access over your PC and they can take any data from you. They can even activate your webcam and watch you also. I mean, they operate at that level. So it is advisable to seek help of a known person who understands all these. You approach your friends, family who are in this, give them an opportunity to earn. Why go to third party, just call random people and put your data at risk? So it's important. We have seen such. What has happened is like, why this is more important now is because some adults do understand it, but there are like children also accessing PCs and laptops for school projects, and now even education. So small, and they always want to be they show themselves as tech savvy to their parents, so they try to troubleshoot things themselves. So now everybody knows, like if you go on Google and do this search, so you will get all your options and you will get troubleshooters and all. So they try to solve things by themselves. However, if you have a very good rapport with your children and tell them that whatever help they need, you are there for them, that helps a lot. So we understood some whatever, like a few things which came to my mind, I have highlighted here. So let's see how you can take care of your data and your security. Some basic do's and don'ts I'd like to discuss. Do not share your credentials with anyone. By credentials, I mean that your login detail, your password details. If anybody asks you like, kya hai aapka, no matter how close that person is to you, you don't have to share all your personal details with anyone. And after using an application, please log out, especially like net banking, mobile banking, or share market ka. These I mean, most of these are like they have inbuilt security and they get timed out. But there might be some like if you are a member of a smaller bank or some other app you're using, which might not be that tech savvy, so it's better to log out. In fact, it is advisable even to log out from your social media accounts, but that nobody does. But like I said, your security is in your hands. Third is lock your phone. This is very important. So nobody should have access of your phone. Most of us do it. A lot of features are there. A lot of locking features are there. I don't need to explain to you all. Then use secured Wi-Fi. A lot of free Wi-Fi is available. Stations here, there, and people. I don't know why we need so much. Like we need not need to access like data so much. I mean, we can live without. If you are out on some work and all, you can leave your mobile aside for a while, except for taking calls and all. I mean, don't make yourself so dependent that every time you need to have some internet access. If you want to use while you're going out, internet, then use your data provider, mobile data providers, use that. Don't go for these free Wi-Fi somebody is offering and use and then you log into their network, you don't know if it is secure, and a lot of hackers might access your data, hack into that network and access your data, PCB. Like watch all these serials like Person of Interest and all, but still nothing goes in my head. Actually, so many things are possible. So you have to be like, if you're getting digital, all that is good, but you should know how to handle the digital world. Activate mobile alerts. So like, especially like if you're away, if you have an account, and also approach your banker and get mobile alerts activated on your phone. So like any transaction happens, you get an SMS, and always when you get an SMS, please take the trouble of reading it. Some of us are like so much into some social media chatting and all, like we will certain like WhatsApp and Messenger, those kind of messages we see, but a lot of important messages come on your SMS also. So please read your SMS also, because SMS is your phone number is registered with your bankers, and wherever it is important, your phone number is registered. So all your alerts and first Ghanti alert notification you will get there. So please read your SMS notifications, don't ignore it. And whenever you're changing your mobile number or SIM, or if SIM is deactivated and it is linked to your bank, then inform your bankers. If you're changing your mobile number, also inform your bankers. Or if your phone gets lost or stolen, then first file an FIR and then inform your bankers, or you can do that simultaneously. See, why it is important to file an FIR is, I mean, now since a lot of earlier we had an option of filing, people used to lose mobiles and then just ignore it, but now since a lot of data, lot of things are linked to our phone, and GPS and monitoring happens. So in that period, while that phone is not with you and something happens, like somebody posts something or does make some illegal calls or anything, then you might be responsible or you might get caught for it. So that is why it's important that as soon as this you observe this, or that most important thing is that your SIM has so much personal and intimate information which can be used against you. So it's important. So first of all, if you lose your phone, the first thing is you call your service operator and deactivate. First you try to call. If the person is genuine and has found your phone, so that person is going to return it to you. But if you observe that person is not taking your call, or has switched it off, then it's better to deactivate your SIM. First you contact your service provider, deactivate the SIM, file an FIR, because during that, after you lose possession of your mobile, whatever happens should not come on you. So all this is very important, though it appears to like cumbersome, and so please do this. And also inform your bankers, or wherever important, not only bankers, like now we have like mutual funds, it's wherever you have some financial things linked to your number, please inform them. Then do not keep your Bluetooth on. A lot of people can access your data via Bluetooth also. So once if you are using Bluetooth, so and hotspot also, so if you are using it for a purpose, you just use it, and then when your work is over, please turn it off. And even like this was already discussed in previous things, when SMS ke through some offers come to you, then don't get excited and click. Then I was talking about children being prey to this. So monitor the access of your children on the internet. Monitor it, please, because yeah, you must be a cool parent, progressive parent, you give all the freedom to your child, but remember that they are still children. They're, as long as they are minors, the responsibility is still on you. They do not understand a lot of things as you understand them now. You have been through that phase, and so it is your responsibility to give them guidance. So because and how can because now if you just say that you're monitoring and you want to know things, then your child might also rebel or say no, they are not going to share information with you and all. But it is important that since they are also accessing it, to treat them like mini adults and make them also understand. So sit with them, understand, and explain to them like the frauds and digital frauds and scams which happen on the net, and the cyber frauds and the cyber fraudsters and predators who exist out there. So understand, make them understand, sit with them. Don't like just start ordering them around and they might not listen to you. If they understand what threats they are facing, then of course they'll cooperate with you if they come across, and then have a nice cordial relation with them. So and you can always be there, say that you are there for them whenever they are facing any such issue. So with this I have discussed about some do's and don'ts on the net and what you can do. And as a bonus, like even in the previous video I had something related related to security, however not cyber security, but since it's a small trip which I had learned through a family member, so I'd like to share with you. This is a small tip on taking care of your property. So by property I mean your office or your home. Though it appears to be a small thing, but it's a minor thing, but it can save your life. Like when usually what happens is when we go out, we lock the door. It could be like your house or your office or whatever property you have, you tend to lock. But when you enter the premises, you open the lock, and some of us have the habit of taking the lock inside with us and then keeping it somewhere, and while we are going out we will then again remove the lock and then lock it. But somebody had given me this tip and I follow it, and it is a very interesting thing. Always when you're opening the lock, so there is a small space there, always keep the lock outside. So like you remove the lock from that latch, but still keep it hanging out there. That will save your life, because what happens is there are times somebody can lock you inside. If that lock is not there, that space there is available for having a different lock, but somebody hates you so much, or even by mistakes somebody can if you are inside and nobody knows that you're inside, somebody can put a different lock outside, and you might be locked inside. But if you have your lock already inside hanging outside, then and the keys are with you, then mostly broadly so nobody can lock you inside. Because this happens, somebody can lock you inside and leave you to starve, or somebody can lock you inside a premises and burn the premises. These are extreme parts of it. It can happen in mistake also, but it's better to be careful. So like I have always said in my earlier also while ending, that सावधान रहिए, सतर्क रहिए, be vigilant. Your security is in your hands. Take care of yourselves. Be happy. Thank you for watching.